It's, I think it's actually working. Not quite on yet. It's thinking about it. Okay, so let's see. I think it's actually working. Not quite on yet. It's thinking about it. Okay, I think that we are being recorded and I think we are live on YouTube. Okay.
Yes, sir.
However, I also think that I am young and good looking. So, you have to take everything. So welcome to everybody who's watching this. My name is Jake Mendelson. I'm standing in for our usual host, Julie Shively, who is doing something else. And she wishes she could be here, but other parts of life take precedence for that. So I am covering for her. This is Innovation World. And I just want to let you know that if you go to the Innovation World website, and it's innovationworld.org, there's all kinds of incredible things on that website. Innovation World is a repository for all kinds of educational resources for teachers, for students, for organizations who are working with students. It's a great place to find out what's going on around the United States and frankly, around the world. So go to innovationworld.org. Now, one of the things that Innovation World does is it runs the Global Innovation Field Trip. And this is a live 24-hour online event. It's absolutely free. And there are students from all around the world presenting things that they've done, things that they've made. It doesn't have to be STEM and science. It can be anything. It can be people doing things with plants and dance and poetry and whatever you're doing. We're looking for, though, innovation, creativity, problem solving. And you'll see a whole list of presentations. We just did one about in April 2021, and we're going to do another one in July 2021. And that'll be July 10 and 11. So if you go to the Global Innovation Fieldtrip.org website, you can see more about the program. You can sign up. It's absolutely free. And the only thing is we're looking for people who are doing something innovative, creative, problem solving, new. That's what it's all about. Okay. So I've just given my little commercial pitches here. And by the way, the Global Innovation Field Trip is free, even though I said it was a commercial. There's no charge for doing that. So I hope you will join us. There's also videos on there of all the past presentations, and you can see there's some really interesting things that young people are doing. Speaking of young people doing interesting things, we have our guest of this podcast now. This is Travis Edwards from Austin, Texas, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, Travis, this is your show. So for the next 20 minutes, it's yours. So please tell us who you are and what you're doing.
So, hello, I'm Travis Edwards. I'm currently a ninth grader at the Liberal Arts and Science Academy in Austin, Texas. And so one of my favorite hobbies and things I like to do is playing basketball. And so, however, when I was practicing, I noticed that when I was shooting the ball, I wasn't very accurate. And I thought that this had to do with because whenever I finished shooting the ball, my arm would go every which way. And I tried to correct it by just practicing over and over again, many repetitions, but that never seemed to help. And so I wanted to create some sort of device that could help me shoot straight. And so I decided to make the follow through fixer, which is designed so you wear it on your forearm and you place it over your fingers. And so when you bring your hand back, there are some rubber bands on it that will tension will build up there. And when you release the ball, it'll guide your fingers and wrist straight down.
Do you actually have one? Did you build one?
Yes, sir. I have one
Oh,
right
oh,
here. And so I'll put it on. And
yes,
so
please.
here's what it it looks like when you have it put on. And so here's what
Ah.
it looks. Yes, sir. And so when you bring your arm forward, it'll make sure that your wrist and fingers go down straight.
Now, I can't see. Is it hard to straighten out? Is it a lot of tension or?
Well, the rubber bands that I decided to use provide it is a little bit difficult to bring it back, but that also helps when you take it away for your shot to be faster and you to build up more strength in your hands.
Great, great. Now, so I have a question then. Does this work?
Well, for me, it definitely worked. I was able to shoot much straighter and much more accurate, and so that was good for me. And I also sent a few follow-through fixers to a few companies, and they thought that it worked well too.
What kind of companies?
I sent it to a company that was that specifically worked with just basketball equipment. They're called Hoops King.
Uh-huh. Now,
And
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, that's it.
No. So are the companies thinking about marketing this or making it or doing something with it?
Well, currently I have a few follow-through fixers in a sporting goods store that,
Really?
yes, sir. And the Hoops King store that I sent it to liked the idea, but right now I only have a provisional patent on the device, and so they said that I should try and work to get an actual patent before they wanted to market it.
Yeah, they're going to want to make sure that it's protected. So are you going to do that?
I'm gonna try and get a patent, yes, sir.
Okay. Now I have a question. Have you checked the rules of basketball? Is it legal to use this during a game?
Well, during a game, it would not be legal to use it, but when you're just practicing in like your backyard or at school, you could use it, and then so that way you can build up the muscle memory. So
Right.
during a game,
Right.
you'd still feel the effects of using it.
How do you know it's illegal to use this during a game?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's rules that prohibit players from wearing things that could be pulled or tugged on when playing for their own safety.
I honestly don't know. But for example, there are players that wear sneakers. Okay. And somebody could say, well, wearing a sneaker is an unfair advantage for somebody who's barefoot, but they allow you to wear sneakers. And I've seen players that have things on their glasses to hold their glasses on. So they're wearing glasses. The glasses don't fall off. I'm not sure this may be illegal. You really might want to get this checked to find out if it's legal to use this during a game.
Yes, sir. I think that's a good question, and I should look into that more.
Yeah, it's something to think about. And because here's the point, this is such a new idea. When they wrote the rules for basketball, whatever, 100 years ago, whenever they wrote them, I can't imagine they were thinking, I think 100 years from now, some bright kid's going to come up with this idea with rubber bands. We better put a rule in here to stop him. I can't imagine they would do that. So I'm not saying they won't create a rule later to stop it, but right now it may be perfectly legal. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I have a question. You came up with this idea, then what happened? How did you end up on this podcast?
Well, so after I created it, I went back and tried to tweak my design a lot, and so it changed from the original design. Unfortunately, I don't have that still. But after tweaking it, I wanted to see if there was any sort of competitions I could enter it into. And so I found one by the National Museum of Education, and I learned that I won that competition. So I was very excited. And then a few days later, I learned that they recommended me to join this podcast, which I was thrilled about doing.
And did they anything else happen as far as the museum is concerned?
Well,
Did you win anything?
oh yes, sir. They I think it's called, the award's called Student Ideas for a Better America. And when you win that, they send you a certificate that you can keep, and then they also give you a reward of $100 as well.
Yeah. Travis, you're a nice young man, but you seem like you're almost embarrassed having won this award, and somebody thinks good enough just not to give you a certificate. You got money, right?
Yes, sir.
Didn't that feel good?
That did feel real good. Yes, sir.
You know, it it's all right to tell what you've been doing. It's not bragging if it's true. Okay? And what you've done is true, and that's quite an accomplishment. So what was the name of that organization again?
It was from the National Museum of Education, and the award was Student Ideas for a Better America.
Yes. And this is an ongoing opportunity for anybody listening to this podcast. If you're a student, you have to be a student, okay? I think it's K to 12. But if you have an idea, go online, okay, go to their site, you can submit your ideas, and they're having a continuous contest. It's just not like 1 year and then it's over. It's a continuous thing, and there's always opportunities. So submit your ideas, and you could end up where Travis is. This is very exciting. So Travis, now you said it works better for you. Have you had any of your friends try it and see if it also improves their shooting ability?
Well, I have sent one of these to my cousins, and they thought that it worked well. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to share it with my basketball team because I wasn't able to compete this year because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I think next year I'll be able to share this with my friends and teammates.
Travis, remember what I said? If it's true, it's okay. Okay. So you can say that after you develop this device, okay, you never you never threw the basketball during a game and it didn't go in.
Oh, I wish that was true.
But no, whoa. During a game, did you ever shoot and it did not go in? No, right? There was never a time during a game that you missed a shot. Did you ever miss a shot during a game this past year?
No, sir, not this past year.
Okay. That's stretching. It's not a lie, but it is pushing the envelope a little bit, okay? But it is technically true. It is technically true. Well, congratulations. This is fantastic. Now, I have a question. What's your next idea?
Ooh, I'll have to think about that more.
You can't stop. You can't. The high point of your inventing, your creativity career cannot be 9th grade.
I'll have to work and try and innovate and come up with more ideas, because it is a very rewarding experience to find and create something new that could help people.
And not only that, but obviously we have basketball, okay? But you might want to look at ways of helping any other sport that's using their hands. So for example, in football, they're throwing a football. I have no idea, but maybe there's some thing that you can develop for that. In baseball, they're throwing a ball, okay? There may be something that can be developed with, throwing any kind of a ball, that kind of a thing. Something to think about. You could be the rubber band king. This is interesting. What other sports? Well, we have bowling. We're not really throwing a ball, but maybe there's something that could help. I'm just thinking of people who are having trouble with that. Once again, I'm just talking, but it also could be very helpful for not students your age, but very, very young students who are just starting off, very young kids, 5, 6, 7 years old. And they're just beginning. They certainly don't have the hand coordination that you have. And this could be something that could be really helpful to them to build up their strength and build up their dexterity in what they're doing.
Yes, sir.
You can have different sizes. You could have this whole thing with different sizes. Oh, this is something you should look at. You should think about this. When you apply for a patent, okay, you're going to have to make a number of claims, okay? And
Yes,
once
sir.
again, I am not a patent attorney, okay? But you want to cover as many things as you can. So you might want to say things like this helps in throwing something rather than throwing a basketball, because a basketball, it limits you to basketball. But you might want to say it throwing any kind of a ball. And then that could be, a football or a, baseball.
Yes, sir.
It
I
wouldn't be a soccer ball because you're not allowed to touch the soccer ball with your hand, but it might be a possibility. Ooh, what about something for your foot?
I haven't thought about any devices for the feet yet.
You might want to think about that because not only for soccer, but for any position where your feet have to be in the right position to be playing. Once again, I don't know enough to help you, but you could have things where it helps position the feet.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that could be an idea that I should try to explore more of. Yes, sir.
Yeah, might want to think about that. There's all kinds of stuff. And then besides sports, anybody's doing something with their hands. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
know. I don't know. But I bet you there's lots of opportunities for sort of an assistance on your hand when you're trying to do something, to put your hand, the right way.
Yes, sir.
Get there.
I feel like a lot of things you need to have precise finger motion, like playing instruments, for example.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. That could be a whole nother area where you could be creating devices to help people position their fingers the right way, and help them with the strength in getting their fingers. Once again, I don't know enough to give you advice, but that's something you can look into. That's fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Don't laugh at this. This is the way these things start. Okay, they start with one idea, and then you start to develop and create and do other things. Okay, now, do you know if you can submit another idea to the museum? Are you allowed to do that, or is only one and you're done?
I am not sure, but I know that there is a different award. I'm blanking on the name of it, but I know you can first submit for the Students' Ideas for a Better America award, and then later you could try and win that award. And so that way you could make sure to have more and more, you could come up with more and more ideas while trying to win that one.
I think that's fantastic. And even if there aren't others with that part of that organization, you should be constantly creating, constantly thinking. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is just the beginning of your creative life. This is not the pinnacle.
Yes, sir.
That's what you have to do. This is great. This is fantastic. So, is there anything else you would like to say to any young inventors who are watching this and thinking, wow, that's an interesting idea? What would you like to say to them?
I'd like to tell all the young inventors that if you see if there's a problem that you notice anywhere, whether it be in your life or your friend's life, even if you feel like it's a small thing, I'd say try and come up with a creative and innovative solution to those problems.
Excellent. That's words to live by. Those are words of wisdom. Thank you very much, Travis. Thank you. This is very exciting. And oh, by the way, Travis, if it turns out that you make $100 million on these ideas, okay, remember me, right? Remember me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is great. And I want to just remind everybody to go to innovationworld.org, where there's all kinds of really interesting things and resources for teachers and for anyone involved in education. And also go to the globalinnovationfieldtrip.org and sign up and give a presentation. Travis, you can also give a presentation at GIFT in July, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Travis.
Thank you, Mr. Mendelson.
Now, wait a minute.